honors and meet him this fall with our help. So.
God, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Really humbled and honored and privileged to be here with you all. I see a lot of people here. Steve, Elizabeth, Nick. Get to know these people. Really. You're here for a reason. You want to be active. You want to be involved. Get to know these people. Get to know these people. Get to know myself. As Joe alluded to, my name's Enderle. My mission is to become your next congressman. And a lot of you are probably going, who is this guy? Where's his name? I don't know. Name? You want name recognition? I don't have it. Why? Because I'm one of you. I'm a citizen. I'm also a teacher, I'm a parent, I'm a grandparent, and I am the only congressional candidate in the 8th District that is an MSU Spartan. Now again, I'm alluding back here. Who is this guy? I don't know his name. Never heard of him in the political circles. Of course you wouldn't have. Unless you were an operative 12 years ago. That's what I used to do before I left and went into the corporate world, and then eventually went on to get my teaching certificate. I did what a lot of you are going to school to do, what a lot of you want to do. I had the benefit of going to Lake Superior State University and graduating with a degree in political science. I had the privilege of working for Congressman Stupak and a representative named Pat Gagliardi. Those two gentlemen taught me two things. Actually taught me three things. One, know everybody in your district. How do you do that? You meet them. Number two, you keep your integrity intact. And number three, you cover as much ground as you can. Don't count on the money to be there. It's about meeting people. It's about grassroots effort. That's something this campaign's bringing to the table that no one else is. No one else is. Why? Again, you guys are probably expecting Conde to be here today, weren't you? Well, Conde, for whatever reason, it's the only time you're going to hear me mention his name, just because you guys are probably wondering. For some reason, he left, decided he couldn't do it. Middle of the summer, the only way we could change the ballot is somebody had to step forward and run as a write-in candidate to initially get this guy off the ballot. He wasn't cooperating with getting off the ballot. Hence, we would have had a no candidate against Mike Rogers. I'll tell you what, living in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, I have a Biden moment for you, Nick. It sucks. Tell me, really tell me, 10 years this man's been in Washington. What has he done for us? Nothing. He got us into a war that's killed over 4,000 of our men and women, 180 of them in this state alone. During that process, he weakened our military and our country. How? Most of the funds in that Bush administration were diverted to private mercenary companies instead of our military, i.e. Blackwater. Why are we weakening our military? Why are we draining our military for private investment? Oh, could it be Prince, the brother-in-law of Dick DeVos and one of the biggest contributors to Mike Rogers' campaigns? Is the owner of Blackwater? Just saying. You're looking at a man who, in the last, I'm going to say month, has voted against senior citizens. He's voted against public teachers, firefighters, and police officers. You're looking at a man over his career in 2005. How many people come from the Kalamazoo way? No one here's from KZ. Oh, we got one. How's the river? Blame Mike Rogers. I'm blaming him. Why? Because he sat on the Energy Committee. Still does. What did he do? He gutted out legislation in his power position. That's when Republicans had control of the House. And they had control of that committee. And they had control of the White House. Boy, didn't Halliburton and Big Oil make a lot of money in those 10 years, 8 years? What he did is he gutted out legislation. In turn, what happened is we have now been able to circumvent the Clean Water Act. We've deregulated the gas, mining, and oil industries. And what do we get for it? We've got a disaster in the Gulf of Mexico. We've got 29 dead coal miners in West Virginia. We've got a catastrophe in our own Kalamazoo River. And you know what? There's problems up in Mackinac with that pipeline right now as we sit here at this minute. That's oil that could spill into our Great Lakes. Mike Rogers is no friend of the environment. He's no friend of education. and he certainly isn't a friend of economics. And you'll hear him say, jobs are priority number one. How is that when you support NAFTA, CAFTA, and every free trade regulation under the book, or under the sun? How is that when you've been there for 10 years, you're talking about monetary manipulation, and you've been there for 10 years, but you couldn't do anything to get China's tariffs in line with our own? Why do we pay 35% to get our goods shipped into China, and China pays nothing to get them into here? It's time for a change. It's about what's right is right and what's fair is fair. As you heard Verge up here talking about, it's industry. It's industry. I'm a teacher, currently finishing up my master's in special education. I'm going to tell you right now, not everybody's going to college. Not everybody is going to be able to do that. We need to build things. Why? Because in order for us to have an education, it's got to be paid for by something. How do you generate that? We've got to make goods, send them out of country, get some other country's money coming into our bank accounts, and now we can be productive citizens. But the problem is we're switching bank accounts all over the place. It's going from my bank account to Nick's, over here to Steve's, over to yours. We aren't getting any growth. The only ones that's making any money are the ones that are sitting on their money. The rest of us are trying to spend it and live. That's where we got to get back to, is this industrial base. My mission is to come up with green technologies. Well, they're already come up with. I want to get them back here. We need to start building here in Michigan. We led the country in the automotive age. Now it's time we lead it in the green industrial age. And it can be done here. But what it's going to do, it's going to take somebody that's going to go to Washington, that's going to fight for our interests. Did you hear that word, fight? How can I do that? Simple. I'm not beholden to anybody but you guys sitting here and the 400 plus members of this congressional district that aren't here with us today. That's who I'm beholden to, and the people of the United States. I'm not beholden to K Street. Why? I'm the only candidate in the country that is not taking PAC or special interest money. Let me preface that. The only candidate in the country that's not taking PAC or special interest money. I will not sell my vote. You know what? The unions love me for it. They don't have the money to give right now. But I've got their support, and I have their endorsements. Why? Because, as it was worded to me, it's about time we have a fighter instead of a sacrificial lamb in the 8th District. So I'm bringing that to you. What it's going to take, it's going to take everybody in here to get out and speak my name. You can go to my website, it's LanceEnderle.com. Get people on there, get people on the Facebook page, pass it out, get the word out there. You've heard this thing of a coordinated campaign. We've got a bunch of candidates running in the state. One of my objectives as a congressional candidate, I have to help every state, senate, and county commission candidate within my district. I like that. Because it is about working together. The better they do, the better I'm going to do. The better I do, the better they're going to do. It's not about putting our eggs in one basket. Can't focus on just one Democrat here. We need to focus on the big picture. It's all of us. If we don't, as the president says, we're going to be putting that car in reverse and going backwards. It's about going forward. I'm a testament. I'm telling you right now, I'm an individual who listened to the president and picked up the broom. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? A few years back, he basically said, quit your bitching, pick up a broom. Well, I got tired of yelling at the TV. We were in a situation. No one else stepped forward. We didn't have a candidate. I picked up the broom. I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. Obviously, you can sort of get a little bit of that right now. One thing you'll find, and you can ask that from pretty much anybody in this room that knows me, I am the most accessible person that you will ever meet in the political realm. Nick, am I lying? You want me, you call me, you talk to me. You aren't going to talk to Sylvia Warner, who is Mark Rogers' press secretary, or whoever it is. And you might get a response back. You might get an email. Maybe, maybe not. But I can guarantee you this. You call me, you'll talk to me. You want to meet with me? You want to talk to me? Let me know. I've got 5 minutes for you. Your 5 minutes is important to me because I plan on taking your 5 minutes to Washington. With that, I'm going to let you go. You got any questions? concerns, I mean, besides the fact of who am I and how am I getting my name out there, feel free to ask me. I mean, I'm an open book, and I'm willing to take that.